Hello, my name is Johnny Collins. I'm with Community National Title. I'm here with one of my great buddies, Carl Dean. Tell us who you're with, Carl.
My name is Carl Dean, and I'm with American Real Estate Investments.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Pleasure.
Carl and I have a bit of a unique history. I guess here not so long ago, we were in Africa together.
Yeah, it's a great experience.
It was the first time I'd ever been to Africa. I never knew I'd go to Africa with some guys who are gurus at real estate investing. Carl, I'd love to hear kind of some of your thoughts about that and whether or not I was good company, bad company, or just somewhere in between.
You know, growing up from being in a lower middle class family, doing something like that, it's been unreal. It was a dream come true for me. As far as I do a lot of animal rights stuff, so being over there and getting to experience kind of like the safari we went on, and just being able to be on stage, say that I'm across the globe, educating investors. Yeah, it's definitely it's a blessing for me.
Well, I'll tell you this, you were very adamant about making sure we had the walking with the lions experience.
Yeah, that's a big thing for me.
Well, I had made up my mind that I would not be the first guy that looks like me to get eaten by a lion in Africa.
Well, we were safe. Fortunately, we made it out.
Well, I'm glad that you made that happen for us. That was phenomenal and definitely something that I'll cherish for the rest of my life. So thank you for that opportunity.
Absolutely. I'm glad you could come.
Carl invited us over to Johannesburg, South Africa. There they basically put on a clinic and a workshop to international investors on how they could invest in American real estate. Yeah. When I first heard about what you all were doing, I was a bit skeptical.
Yeah.
I wasn't necessarily sold on that thought. Yeah. But after experiencing it with you, I have to tell you, man, my hat's off, tip of the hat to you. You guys are doing a phenomenal job. Not only were people at ease, but you guys provide a turnkey product.
Yeah.
Tell us kind of about the background and all the work that's been put in. More specifically, let's come back to the States. I'm a big fan of the bus tour. That's where we first met.
Yes, absolutely.
Tell us about that.
So we host a bus tour, which we also call, it's kind of like a workshop. Instead of being in a room for a 3-day event, we put you in a room for a 1-day event, and we kind of educate you across the board on our systems, how we work as a company, other companies we work with, kind of our preferred network of industry experts. And we go into kind of a lot of education the first day. And so we want clients to feel comfortable with who we are and knowing our systems and what we do. And then we spend the second and third day actually going out and touring in what we call a field exercise. And we take them through assets that are just purchased, assets we're in mid-renovations with, and assets that we're just finalizing and getting ready to put tenants in. And so we try to help people understand all that's involved in real estate investing as far as purchasing an investment property to hold, put a tenant in and hold for a long term. And we do so by actually pulling up the hood, I guess you could say, and showing them exactly what we do.
But tell me this, you seem to have a passion for just the regular, everyday person that wants to buy a home. And I remember speaking with you about it, and you kind of told me a story basically about how important it is for you to provide an opportunity for someone who doesn't necessarily have any experience at this, where they can walk in, sit down, literally turn the key, and feel good about their investment.
Yeah.
Tell me more why that's so important to you. What is it about the everyday guy that's so important to you?
Well, because I come from a very lower income family, and I grew up in a smaller middle class town where I was a renter. My parents were renters. Everybody I knew was pretty much renters, and so I was in a construction background going through college for business and marketing, and I have a lot of passion in that. I'm a very artistic type of person, so I have a lot of passion behind not only the architectural, but also like the interior design of a home. And when I learned the investment side of the business, I was very intrigued by this, and I became very, very passionate about it because I felt like with my construction background, I could provide a product that was far superior than to just a guy who has an investment background. And so that passion kind of helped me create the systems in the company. Well, then my passion for also helping people and helping others in need and helping people reach their full potential, because I was once one of those people, and I kind of stepped outside that box and did everything I could, and now I've obviously broken the mold and I've had some success. And so it's become my passion now to help everyday Americans, blue collar workers with retirement funds with as little as $80,000 in their retirement funds, show them how to become real estate investors and pull their money out of the stock market without taxes and penalties and all these other fees, and strategically place it into accounts where they can now purchase real estate investments. So instead of kind of sitting and having your money in the stock market, yeah, you sit there and you kind of worry about your retirement. Is it going to be enough? Am I going to have enough? Is this money making money for me? And a lot of people, what I hear from my clients is, I look at my statement every year or every quarter, and it just seems like it's stagnant. It's kind of give or take. Sometimes I win, sometimes I lose, but it pretty much evens out and just holds my money. And I just said, there's an alternative way where you can really take that money and have it grow for you. But you have to do it the right way. You can't just take that money, put it in a retirement or a self-directed account, and then go purchase any real estate. It has to be truly passive real estate, so you don't have to worry about chunks coming out of your retirement to make up for lost bills or lost tenant wages, all of these other things.
So even beyond the person who may deem themselves as just a blue collar 9-to-5 individual, you all have also worked with some folks that are pretty high net worth and are doing some pretty substantial things financially on their own.
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of our clients are guys that you'll see on HGTV. You'll see these guys hosting seminars, and you'll hear them on the radio. Check out this person hosting a seminar in your neighborhood to teach you how to real estate and invest in real estate. A lot of these guys have become our clients because they see our product that we offer, and number one, they want to sell it to their clients because it's a good product that they believe in, and number two, they've come in and when touring the assets to kind of get a feel for our company, they've purchased as many as 6 houses at cash the first day.
Carl, tell us your story and what this industry has done for you.
Well, real estate has definitely changed my life. I mean, just like you wouldn't believe. So, getting into the industry young, doing the construction stuff and having that as a background to kind of have a foundation to improve on, I think is really what sets me apart from a lot of the different providers. That and the fact that when it comes to the actual asset and that production of the asset to be a turnkey asset, our systems that we have in place and that I've created over the years and the team that I've built doing this, I mean, it's really second to none. I mean, there's not a lot of people in this industry on this scale who are putting out a product that's this consistent. I started in Detroit flipping assets, selling to foreign investors during the global financial crisis. And I started to see that although this was a good business model, for me as an individual, it was something that it made it hard for me to sleep sometimes at night, knowing that these assets can sometimes fall apart and be hard to manage on a large scale. So that's really what sparked my passion to get outside of that C-class asset into a more higher tier asset. We moved the entire company, 12 executives down to Dallas-Fort Worth in January of 2015. And we did that strategically because this is the market that we ourselves believe in and where I myself put my money in. Sure. So when it came to the point of, what are we going to sell to the investors that we consider a better product? I just said, well, look at my portfolio. This is where I'm at. This is where you guys are at. Why would we not go down here and start doing these assets in Texas? Because it's really the strongest market. You have the most growth. You have the most appreciation. I mean, the story is just phenomenal.
Well, I think it's amazing how you all have scaled because you guys are managing large numbers in a very efficient way.
Yeah.
So the systems that you all have put in place are obviously state of the art, but it's ahead of the curve. More importantly, how are you all able to stay in front of that and kind of trendsetters?
That's a simple question to me, but it's a question I get a lot. What makes you guys different as far as what you provide and how do you guys stay ahead of the curve? It's simple. It's we do what we're good at. And we let everybody else do what they're good at. We're not a company that tries to come over and take on our own management and take on our own this and we leave it to the specialists. So we have a third-party property manager that we think is really the best in the nation. They're an A-class only manager, headquartered here in Dallas as well. And so we have a good relationship with them. They give us, in turn, a good rate. And it's lower than the national average for property management. And so really the thing that really sets us apart is the fact that we just stick to what we're good at.
I've noticed that personally.
Yeah, we don't want to be the guys who are managing the properties, who are also doing the events. We just try to stick to our core business, which is providing the best possible assets.
Tell us about the team. What makes the team so special?
Well, the team, I can tell you this. So, since I was a young man, I have 4 brothers. And so I'm a very, very stern person when it comes to scouting good talent and getting guys who can really, really, really stay in it through the thick of things.
And you're not very intense.
I'm a very passive person. I sit in my office and I don't ever raise my voice. No, I mean, I'm a very, very adamant person.
Sarcasm at its best.
When it comes to getting the best people. I want the best people who can handle high pressure situations, who can be creative problem solvers. And, out of all the people who are in our headquarter office here in Dallas, not one of them are from Dallas. Sure. So I moved guys from California, I moved guys from New Jersey, me and my partner are from Michigan. We have 2 other people that are from Kansas City. So we literally went out, myself primarily, and scouted these people and said, hey, I think you'd be a great fit. Let's see what you got. And we always test them out first, obviously, because I'm not in the hire and fire net business. And then, if they make the cut, then we bring them on. And I pay for them to move. I pay for their fees to get a new apartment or whatever they need to take care of. And that's what it takes. That's what it costs. On all angles, you have to reach out and get these people and get them to come to you. You're not going to find them in your backyard.
So Carl, the stock market is really tumultuous and has been for about the last 16 years. But you guys have put together a plan for people to basically sleep a little bit better at night.
Yep.
How have you done that?
Well, the main difference between our business and the stock market is pretty simple. Honestly, when you have money in stocks, it's a volatile market. It's something you listen to every day on the radio. It's something you watch every day when you're looking at the paper or when you're reading the online reviews.
It's so psychological.
Yes, and it's very time intensive if you want to be serious and try to make money. It's not like you can just put money in blue chip stocks and you're going to make money on money on money every year. You'll make small amounts, and then if you were to take it out and put it somewhere else, you're going to get taxed on that money.
Sure.
And so the difference between us and that is this is truly a passive investment. So instead of having your money in the stock market through mutual funds or however, say you're getting a 5% to 6% return, that's something you're constantly checking in on. You're constantly looking at those stocks to see how they're doing. Versus if you were to put your money into an asset that's already managed, that's already cash flowing, you have tenants in place, that management company takes care of everything. Sure. You don't have to watch where the stocks are at. You don't have to watch. Housing could crash and it's still going to take months and months and months for that to even affect you, if it does in any way. And it's probably going to affect the rent amount, if anything, very, very minorly. And you're still going to have a cash flowing asset. You're not going to have something that's going to be sitting there not performing. There's still going to be a tenant in place. There's still going to be insurance on the property. Nothing's going to make that go away.
Well, I definitely like you all's approach. You've done a great job of packaging it in a way that people can understand it. I know the first time that I met you, I remember kind of looking at you and listening to you explain to individuals just the difference. And you had some great models and examples. And the numbers don't lie.
No, the numbers don't lie. You look at the numbers. So back to what can you expect from one of our houses? You're getting anywhere from a 6 to 8% net yield. So that's after your taxes, after all your expenses, after your management, 6 to 8% net.
Well, then that's phenomenal. Just
plus, you have an asset that's appreciating. And I had assets. 3 of my assets here in DFW alone last year appreciated nearly 14% in 1 year.
And you guys have done a phenomenal job too at buying at the right price. So many times I've heard you talk about how you guys make money on the purchase. And that's simply because you're buying at a price which makes sense. So the margins are available for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, when you go to tax sales, obviously we go to tax sales, foreclosure sales. We have multiple brokers under our umbrella that go out to these, and we cut them checks. And we have, $20, $50, $100,000 checks, and they kind of just disperse those as need be to purchase assets. So that gives us a major advantage over a lot of people, knowing how to work that system, knowing how to do the due diligence on the front end to look at what's coming up at the auctions, and then being able to send somebody there who's educated and that you can trust to purchase those assets in multiple locations in one day. Just recently we had a gentleman reach out to us, and they always they don't give you all their cards on the phone. They're calling in, they're kind of fishing for questions. But come to find out, this gentleman was a stockbroker. He was a licensed stockbroker, licensed in securities. And he was kind of questioning me on our assets and why we are and what markets we are and kind of how that all works. And I kind of educated him on, well, you can take that money, whatever you have in the stock market, you can roll it into a solo 401k, which is what we recommend, and that gets you out of certain taxes and fees, what you would have in a self-directed IRA. So those are called UBIT taxes.
How long does it normally take to set that up?
The setup for that account for the solo 401k can happen in 2 to 3 weeks.
Gotcha.
Depending on if they already have an LLC. Not at all, no. Yeah. The entire process from A to B is about a 60-day process. So within 60 days, we can take your money from your financial advisor out of the stock market, put it into a solo 401k account, and then you can in turn purchase assets with that money. Now the best part about this is, say you have $250,000 in your retirement account. You don't just have to say, oh, I'm gonna go buy $250,000 worth of assets in real estate because I think it's a better purchase. The best benefit of this in my mind is you can leverage that money. So you can take and use some of our non-recourse lenders, which is obviously a loan program where they can't come after the owner of that asset, which in this case would be your retirement account.
Sure.
So you have to protect that. So we have non-recourse lending available. So once you roll over those funds to purchase real estate, you can now leverage, putting 30 to 40% down on an asset. And instead of having $250,000 in stocks, you now are leveraged and have, say, $800,000 to $900,000 in assets.
Wow, that's an awesome tool.
That's a huge factor for me, and that's a huge factor with a lot of our clients as well.
So people are able to really create wealth.
Absolutely, absolutely. And see, the most strategic way that I can tell somebody to do this, say if they had, our most ideal client would say $300,000 to $400,000 in their retirement account. What we advise them to do is purchase 1 or 2 assets using the leverage, and then purchase 1 asset cash out of your retirement account, and then use all of the rent income off of that cash purchase and do an accelerated payoff on your other assets, so you can get that loan paid off quicker.
Sure.
You know, say come 5 years from now, you got that loan paid down pretty significantly. You go to reevaluate your assets, and you've grown 20% in equity. Okay, you can now refi if you'd like to, and add additional home to your portfolio from your equity that you had sitting in that portfolio.
True example of making your money work.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, you can genuinely set yourself up to where if you were to start mid-30s, you know, even early 40s, by the time you get ready to retire, you could have 10, 12, 15 assets. And that's something that we really try to help all of our clients achieve. We're definitely set apart from the rest of the group by our quality. Our quality and our assets, the fact that we really go after that A-class investment because we don't want any headaches. I don't want the tail. I don't want the calls. I don't want the warranty things. I want to cover all angles, give you a strictly A-class, top-line asset, so where you don't have to worry about it at all.
And that product that you all produce is a direct reflection of you, correct?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I've had the benefit, or not so much, of sitting and watching you kind of go through an example, and boy, you're meticulous. Even the carpet, you guys put a lot of thought into the carpet.
It's systems, you know, it's years and years and years of developing these systems and what works and what avoids, you know, every time you get a call from a client that's about something, you try to implement a process to avoid that in the future. And we've done it for so long that our proven processes and proven systems, and not only that, but our network alone, our network just from doing what we say we do and being, you know, one of these qualified contenders in this market is, you know, it's all about our systems and the way that we do things as far as, you know, again, even the flooring in the kitchen. Sure. We use a vinyl plank wood. You know, it looks like wood, you know, it takes pictures well, it's very, very nice flooring, but at the same time, your dog can run on it, you can spill water on it, you can drop stuff on it, it's not going to do damage, yeah. So those are things that you really try to implement as the years go on and as you learn, really.
You know, I love the concept of your belief system. Why do you all believe in what you do so much?
Because we genuinely believe that there's a lot of people out there with retirement funds, or people who out there who are just uneducated on how they can really set themselves up financially to have a good retirement. And we're very passionate because we've seen it work, we've done it ourselves, we've done it with our family members even. And we truly and genuinely believe that if you put your money in these assets that are fully insured, appreciating, cash flowing with corporate relocation tenants, I mean, it's a great story, but at the end of the day, it works. You know, it's something that it's going to pay itself off. You're going to own those homes free and clear at one point. You're going to be able to take that rent if you want to, non-taxed after your retirement, 59 and a half, whatever it is. We believe in this system to create wealth. We ourselves have done it. Now we ourselves, obviously we run this company because we want our business to grow. But at the same time, if I wanted to just not do anything tomorrow from this day forward, I wouldn't have to, because my assets have genuinely created financial freedom for myself. I don't have to watch the clock. I don't have to watch people work. I literally just let my assets do what they do, which is perform.
Well, and speaking of performance, you know, I appreciate your friendship. I appreciate the I guess the opportunity to kind of sit with you. I never forget when we were in Africa, and we were sitting out on the patio, and it was just a beautiful scene. It was almost surreal, and we kind of toasted. And I think your toast was just to the opportunity to participate in the American free trade system.
Yeah, there you go.
And there's nothing like it.
There you go.
Hey man, I appreciate you so much.
Sir. Appreciate you.